welcoming him back to Studio B over the phone on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline. Brian Logan, B-Lo, welcome back to the show, man.
What's happening, fellas? Excited to be back, man.
We're trying to figure out where we need to direct our BYU fandom after a less than desirable result for the men and women at the West Coast Conference basketball tournament. So let's ask you the Twitter question. Where does your BYU fandom lie right now, B-Lo?
Foosball, of course, man. It's not even a question, dude. Come on now.
I have to ask it because it's a Twitter question.
Yeah, I know you have to, but like kind of by default, since I'm like some type of an employee there, and you know that I just love football. Football is life. You shouldn't have asked that. That's your one. This is your only situation, instance where you don't have to ask a Twitter question.
But okay. See, Brian, our job, you're always told in the media, never ask a question you don't already know the answer to. So, see, we were just following the rules on that one.
You know what? Out of the, 5-6 years I've been working at BYU TV and broadcast, I have never learned that lesson. So thank you for enlightening me.
Yes, we are all learning lessons every day. Follow him at Brian Logan 7 on the Twitter machine. He is here to talk BYU spring football with us, as he so gently put it. What are you working on? I mean, when you were an athlete at BYU and did your thing with the football team, what were you trying to accomplish as a player in spring football specifically?
First and foremost, man, it was just trying not to get hurt if you were a starter. You're excited because you go through the season, and especially if you come off a loss in the bowl game, you're just itching to get back out there. And then you go through, winter conditioning and whatnot, and it's like you're a little kid all over again. You're having fun, you're excited, but you still got that in the back of your mind that I still got 6 months left before I can really strap it up. So that kind of is in the back of your mind is how do I not get hurt but still polish? And that's the most important thing for proven guys, for vets. What can I get better on? Focusing something on, maybe I think what we did as DBs, we wrote down, I think 5 goals for us individually, and we worked on those, each and every day for the end of spring ball. So, but if you are a guy that's not a starter, maybe you're kind of fresh coming in, you're a freshman or a sophomore, man, you're just going all out. I mean, you are, trying to knock people out, probably trying to get in trouble, get kicked out of practice. I mean, you want to make some type of a splash, right? Because, you don't have too many opportunities with spring ball because coaches know as well, let's keep these guys healthy. So, man, to all the young guys out there, try to find a way to get on the radar.
As you mentioned, it's kind of a marathon, not a sprint. There's a lot of things that you do as a player from the time that the previous season ends to the time you begin fall camp. So what do you think is more beneficial for the players? Is it the spring football where the coaches are involved, or is it those off-season workouts that are led by the players?
So on paper and from outsiders looking in, and I'm probably going to be judged, but don't judge, just pray. That's all I ask. Probably it's going to be the coaches, right? Just because, they obviously understand the scheme. There's some authority that's there. But at the very end of the day, man, the coaches aren't on the field with you, right? Unless you had somebody like Coach Hill that was yelling out, he's running it out, as the play is being snapped. And you're so distracted by him talking to you that you don't jump the route anyway, so it's irrelevant. But I would have to say, man, it's got to be the coaches, it's got to be the players. And the reason why, first and foremost, you don't have to be there, right? NCAA rules, they give us some time to go off and do whatever we need. So we have these players ran practices that we don't need to necessarily be there. And so first and foremost, as a player, you realize, who's really dedicated to this team and to this program. And, that's huge because, guys go back home and they go on vacation, they do whatever. Some guys get married, go on their honeymoon before the season. So the guys that stick around, it's like, man, okay, I see that you're down and you're all in. And then when you don't have, the coaches there and that authority, you got to look up to your leaders. And so what happened with me, I mean, seeing Max out there, Andrew Rich and Jan Jorgensen, Scott Johnson, Dennis, their presence and their vocals, all of that, all of the above, man, I feel like I got way closer to them and to the team. And you just build that chemistry, and you kind of have your own little, I would say, click outside of the coaches, right? And it's cool to still be competitive. It's cool to still get that work in and make progress without the coaches being there, because it's like, yeah, this is our team, man. So you just get that bond, and you get that chemistry, and it starts to build. So, from a player's perspective, I got to say it's definitely got to be the player ramp practices.
Brian Logan with us on BYU Sports Nation, talking about spring football specifically for the Cougars. As Jason pointed out so kindly at the beginning of the show, 171 days away, but not that far away from the spring game, just a few weeks. What do you hope to see from BYU football in their version of a spring football game coming up in just a little bit?
Man, again, I got to say, injury-free, right? And I think that's probably just default. So that's probably a bad answer. So let's just say I would want to see guys that are flying around, passion. I want to see leadership. You got some of the seniors that have left that have made a mark. They've been at BYU, for a while, like Jamal. And so, which guys are going to step up vocally? It's one thing for guys to put it on tape and be on the field, and we can see by their play, okay, this guy's a leader. Like, Kyle Van Noy is a great example. You don't really see him too much getting rah-rah up in guys' faces or whatnot, but obviously when there's a time for a big play, he was right there. And so we know that a lot of guys are like that on this team, but I want to see the guys that are going to get in people's faces when they drop a ball, or if there's a holding penalty or whatever the case is. So, who's going to be the leaders? And then, let's see if we can keep this passion going, into spring ball and into next year or this year coming up. There's been so much buzz and excitement with Kalani and the new staff. And so, let's not let this die down. Let's keep the momentum going.
Brian Logan with us on BYU Sports Nation. You talk a lot about leaders. Who are the leaders on offense and defense specifically? Who are those guys that you expect to step up and get in people's faces and motivate and lift and encourage and do that?
So, yeah, obviously, I think by default it's got to be on the offensive side, Tanner, right? He's the quarterback. And quite frankly, he's the leader of the team. I don't care what any quarterback says, if they want it or don't want it. It comes with that position and that title. You are you are the leader. And so, you saw a little bit of that when Tanner or Taysom went down, and you can kind of see the leadership skills and the ability, and even talking to guys like Devon Blackman, who speaks very highly of him, loves his leadership on and off the field. So I would have to say that. And on the defensive side, you kind of look at your free safeties or your strong safeties, or you got to look at your middle linebacker. And, you got Butch Pau, somebody that just lays the wood every single time. But then, smile on your face. That's a perfect example of a leader where, you mess up on defense, drop a pick, or you're in the wrong position. Somebody that can yell at you, get nasty, but then, smile when you do good, right? So I would have to pick those two guys as, leaders and for the team to rally on and look up to when they are in a time of need.
Even though spring football has not been going on for a very long time, we've seen quite a few players switching positions, whether it's on the same side of the ball or possibly from one side of the football to the other. How would you have handled being asked to play a different position?
Man, yeah, that really depends, man. So that happened to me when I first got to junior college. I came in as a running back, but I was like 150 pounds or something like that. And so they moved me to the corner, which really didn't make any sense because I was 5'6". But, at that time I was new to the program, and I just wanted to, give my all and show the coaches that I was bought in. So it didn't really affect me that much. But, if I'm solidified in my spot, and maybe have been a 2-year starter, 3-year starter, whatever the case is, I think it'll be a little bit harder for me, especially if I'm on radar for these NFL scouts and they're looking at me at this position. You know, it's really weighing the pros and the cons, man. But at the end of the day, it's hard because, you know, football is all about sacrifice, all about team, true team effort. And you look at the philosophy and the mentality of somebody like Bronco. It's like, you know, I remember coming into spring ball, going into my senior year, and I was trying to get surgery. Yeah, I had double hernias, and I was trying to get surgery. I didn't want to do spring ball, and he just had that silent look on his face and goes, do you think this is gonna help the team, or is it gonna hurt the team? Or he said, you think it's gonna help you or hurt you by missing spring ball? And I was like, I think it would help me because I'm getting surgery with you. And then he goes, and then this long pause. Oh my gosh, I just wanted to say something, but you know, a lot of the older guys like Max told me, don't be the first one to break the silence. So I'm still there holding my ground. And then the next question goes, do you think this is gonna help the team or hurt the team with you being gone? And I just got up and I shook his hand. And I said, thank you. I know what to do. I'll get surgery afterwards. So, I mean, you really have to, I think as a player, be in that position and be in that situation at that time, because there's so many different variables, you know, like what I just said, but also just the culture of the team, right? I mean, there's times where you hear these schools or these teams that, you know, they're not a family, or it's not really a team first mentality. And in that case, it's like easy to be like, get you, coach. I'm not going to see you. You know, after this year, I'm not seeing you for the rest of my life. Now I'm sticking where I'm at. So it's tough, but at the very end of the day, to get the buy-in from the players first, and kind of the coaches second, you know, you got to kind of just suck it up and make that move.
Brian, you haven't been on BYU Sports Nation in a while. Do you think that is helping the show or hurting the show?
So I'm a marketer, you know, at heart. So it's at heart. You guys know that. And because of that, I look at data, and the data that I see, and you know, to kind of help me with this answer, is really just looking at the fans and their tweets. And when I get random tweets that say, "Where's Brian at? I miss Brian. When can Brian come back on?" You know, I think that pretty much says that it hurts that I'm not on there. So. And you know what? Us as media, man, we with all social media, all this engagement, we let the fans speak, you know, so it's not coming from me, man. It's coming from the fans.
Yet you have chosen to not be with us very often, Brian. So I think maybe you need to listen to the fans. Do you not?
I do need to. I'm just, you know, yeah, I gotta figure some things out, man, and get back to you guys. Just been crazy busy. You know, like I said, I think on I think a year ago, kind of the same thing happened when, you know, got a few new jobs and things like that. Working like a Jamaican man, got five jobs, you know, and trying to find time for you guys. But I do listen. I love the fact that, and this is the first time really being, you know, so busy and things so hectic, and even, you know, with my wife starting a new job as well, trying to adapt. But, you know, I never had to go back and kind of DVR or get on the app and listen. And so being able to do that, man, I've been able to stay, you know, up to date with everything. So I appreciate you guys, man. I didn't know how vital that app was, that tool was, until, you know, I haven't, you know, been a part of the program, you know, for the last couple of months. So I appreciate you guys.
Hey, Brian, it's great to talk to you, man. We'll let you get back to figuring things out, and we'll try and hold up our end of the bargain over here.
Thanks, man. I just ask for some prayers. Just move me to the top three. I don't even want to be in the top two. Just be in top three of your prayer list tonight, you know, and I'll be good to go.
Sounds good. Thanks, Brian.